Right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and habari. Let me try out some Swahili here. Cyrus, are you with us? You could teach me some Swahili here.
Yeah, so you come from private lessons.
How is Nairobi?
Nairobi is okay. So it's about to rain. I'm seeing some places are raining already. So yeah, it's a bit chilly. It's not like the usual Nairobi.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for that. There's not much to write about where I am in Uganda here. I'm on a lockdown. So in my house, the only things I'm doing is counting the number of corners, counting the amount of hair on my head, and the like. Yeah, yes. So with Ramadan season, so I'll also pass on Ramadan Karim to our colleagues from our brothers and sisters from the Muslim side of these things. And also just give us some basic rules for today. So we're going to put all the questions under the Q&A section. Our colleague Caloris is one of the panelists, but he will be attending to most of the questions there, and a good number of other people from Eskimi that will come in here and there whenever you raise some questions, so they'll be able to jump on them. So we have an active army that will be listening to whatever you give us. We also have, you can use the chat section, but we prefer the Q&A section because that's where all the questions will be sorted. I can see there are already some questions in the chat section. Basically, that's it for now. I'm Robert Sebunya from the Uganda office here. Sebunya with a single S. For those in Uganda, normally they make it with double S. I can't explain why, but it's a common thing here. So I'll take it over to Cyrus. So Cyrus, you're going to take us away for some time, and then we will be interchanging from here and there between ourselves.
Thanks, Robert. So as Robert mentioned, I'm Cyrus Gichohi, and I'm based in the Nairobi office. So Nairobi is the regional headquarters. So we have a couple of markets that we manage from here. So I want to believe I've interacted with a couple of you guys, and some are both from Kenya and also some in the other markets. And so for this particular presentation, you'll see that we've been able to showcase some of the campaigns we run in both all markets that we manage. And also maybe if you have any question, as Robert mentioned, you can shoot it on the Q&A section. So as Robert mentioned, he's Robert Sebunya, working in Uganda. I'm Cyrus Gichohi, I work from the Nairobi office, and I will be tag teaming in this particular presentation. So I want to believe some of you, rather, the reason why you've come on board is at least you've heard of the word Eskimi before, or the brand Eskimi before. So Eskimi as a brand, we started in 2009, and we started off as a social network, and I think this is quite familiar with many digital media buying channels. Then in 2013, we launched an aggregator solution. This was launched in Nigeria. And then in 2014, that's when we launched our flagship product, which is Eskimi DSP. So DSP stands for Demand Side Platform. So this was launched in Kenya and Nigeria, but in the last 6 years, we've been able to deploy the campaigns across all African markets. So when it comes to our physical presence, we have a very huge footprint. So we have 6 main offices here in Africa. We have a couple of offices in Europe and also some in the Middle East and Asia. And so this ensures that when we're serving our clients, we do it very effectively because we have that physical presence that you might want when you're running campaigns. So the other key thing that I'd want to showcase is our rich capabilities. So you find that as a scheme, we pride ourselves as the platform that gives you the ultimate or an ideal reach when it comes to digital advertising. So you find that the reason why this is so is because so long as you're online, we're able to tap on you and we're able to store you on our DMP solution. And so these numbers here shows just a summary of some of the numbers that you have in the different markets. So you find, for example, here in Kenya, we have 19 million unique profile users linked into our platform. We have in Uganda, 6.5 million, in Tanzania, 7.5. When you look at Ethiopia, 10 million, looking at DRC, 5 million, Congo, Brazzaville, 0.4, but this one should be 0.6 million. So basically, when it comes to reach, we are a platform that prides ourselves in our capabilities when it comes to delivering your marketing objectives. So when it comes to some of our key partners or our key clients, so we work with all leading global brands. So this cuts across both local and global. So we find, for example, so this slide shows you some of the industries that we work with. So you find that, for example, under the drinks category, we work with the likes of Diageo, we have worked with Pernod Ricard, we worked with many other brands under the same category. When it comes to NGOs, we work with the likes of UNICEF. When it comes to telcos, we work with Airtel, Telenor, Etisalat, and the rest. When it comes to FMCG, we have Pepsi, P&G, Coca-Cola, and also entertainment, we have the likes of DSTV, KCB, and others. And as we proceed, Robert will show you some examples of what we've done with these particular brands. So as a scheme, we have three main solution offerings, or rather our solutions come in three main areas. So the first one is data, which answers the question of who will see your ads. We have a media solution, which answers the question of where your ads will be delivered. And the last one, which we're going to focus on in this particular presentation, is a creative offering. And this answers the question of how your ads will be delivered to the different target audiences. And you'll see how you're able to combine these three solutions to give you the best value as a marketer. So as I mentioned, for this particular, so today we're going to just focus on creatives, but as we progress, we'll be able to mention how we're able to use data and media solutions to give you that kind of value that you might want to achieve with our marketing platform. So our creative solutions, rather, we have 6 main ad display types. So the first one is the normal banners that you see on websites and apps. So we're able to run those, and the advantage with, if you're to run those with us, we give you the best rates when it comes to the cost per 1,000 impressions. So we're also able to deploy the native ads. So these are very popular right now, especially if you're looking to drive conversion-driven campaigns. You're also able to do video ads if you want to drive that kind of engagement with your target audience. We're able to do animated ads, and on animated ads, you can do customized creatives depending with your campaign objectives or your brand objectives. We can also do animated interactive ads. So this interactive ads is very important to us because with this, you're able to drive a high ad recall because these ads are very engaging in nature. And the last one are data-driven ads, and we'll show you some examples of what we've done for popular brands globally. So, so the first ad type that we have is standard images and GIFs. So you find that this one's, I don't think I'll spend a lot of time on them because I think we're all familiar with this kind of ads. So these are the normal banners that you see on apps and sites. So if, for example, if you're a brand and you have like a very specific brand direction, so you're able to utilize different ad formats that you have within this category, and you're able to optimize this to ensure that you get the best value from running ads with us. So these are some examples of what we've done, and maybe if you have any question, you can reach out to us and be able to explain how we're able to execute the same. So when it comes to our ad deployment or when we advising most of our partners or clients, we usually approach our communication using a mobile first kind of approach. And this is so because we realize that, of course, which is standard now globally, many people who are consuming online media, they're using mobile as the preferred channel, which is at 83%. These are global average. So we have 14% using desktop and 3% using tablet. So what this means is all our creatives are optimized to suit mobile consumers. So this is just a quick summary of our best performing ads. So this ties back to the standard images, and so this is just to give you like an indication of how we're able to optimize your standard ads to our platform. And as you can see, the most popular ones, of course, are the strip ads, 320 by 50. We also have the square ads, 300 by 250. And these are very popular because they're able to be served in multiple devices and also multiple kind of channels. So if a desktop, mobile, and tablets are very compatible with this kind of ad formats. So for this particular slide, I want to shoot it to my colleague, Robert. He's going to explain to you how we're able to deploy rich media creatives and to get a better understanding of the same. So Robert, over to you.
Thank you very much. So I'll take it from here. Yes, since my grandmother is on today, I mean, we're operating from the clouds and she's already deceased and she must be seeing some of the stuff we're doing here today. So I want to be able to, to give those explanations that she can, bravely understand. So, rich media ads, what are they? So rich media ads are, these ads that are not text or static images. These are ads that have a little bit of interactivity to it. You'll be able to see quite a couple, actually thousands and thousands of them, but or hundreds of them that we've worked on. Today, I think we'll be able to share quite a number as well today. I think you've already seen some of them in the video that we played. So what you see there on the screen is one of the ads we did for KCB. in M-Pesa. So it's basically a cube ad. Basically, it shows you different interfaces of almost the same ad. So imagine in the other world of static ads, this would be like a GIF that moves from one frame to another frame. The next one is one of my favorites as well. It's called a dancing ad. It also really gives you that real good feel and of interaction. So basically, it's like the ad is dancing. So when someone is reading web content, this is how it appears. So the next one you'll see is the flipping ad. You can see we did that for Coke Studio. It flips to different frames as well. One of the other favorites of mine is one that is a spinning ad. You can see it. So basically it shows, we'll be able to share with you the file sizes, but basically it shows you your message across 920 pixel screen real estate. The next one, I can't see it. Let me move away my images from where. Yeah, so it's a drawing ad, what you see there. So basically, you know, people engage with these ads and they have a lot of interaction. That one was also for KCB. The next ad is, moving to the next screen. So the next is the scratch ad. Basically, you scratch off a banner and then we reveal an underlying message. This is quite common from when we're growing up, but I like how Eskimi digitized it. When we're growing up, of course, we had those, we used to call them here in Uganda, Jada ads. So you see a piece, actually even scratch cards. So you scratch and then reveal the underlying message. So almost the same concept. This is a cube that rotates around, basically shows you different sides of that ad. So you know if you're running an automotive, an ad for the auto industry, you're able to see the different views, let's say, of the car, depending on how you've really thought about it. And all these ads, we do them in conjunction with different ad agencies. We sit down with them, some will create custom solutions, some already have pre-existing templates like you'll be able to see in our practical session. You know, there's also this one swipe to color where, you know, you swipe and then the color, the different colors on the image change. Now, normally in a static ad, you wouldn't be able to do that. And now another one, which is the 3D rotating cube. This is also very good for showing lots of information, but still looking at you, following your brand guidelines. So like you can see for Samsung, they're able to show different messages in a very short time, in a very short time. But you don't feel like it's crowded because different faces of the cube come to your face. I'll move on to the next one. Oops. Okay, these are some of the custom ones we've worked on. You'll see this one for KCB Karen Masters. I know there are some golfers on here, CEOs of different media agencies and the like, and many of us now play golf for a sport. Actually in our houses, not right now. So this is one of those, if you can look at that ad, it sort of mimics, you know, in the game of golf, how you, I hope it's the right word, how you tee. You can correct me in the chat section if you think I'm wrong on that one. And then we did this for Jumbo Jet, very nice one. Look at it very clearly. So basically you see the fares and then you're able to, you know, interact with the ad and then you're able to book at that particular moment. This ad, you'll be able to see a case study of it at the end of this call as well. Yes, so we have another one, which is another cube. It's also a latest one from us. So basically it's also more like, it sort of shows you different messages. Maybe you have a message that has mechanics, then you have a message that introduces the promo. So, you know, with such an ad, you're able to kill like 3 birds with one stone, just one stone. And this gives you, yeah, you know, this gives your end user the right key takeaway, because they're able to see the promotion you're pushing. Probably they're also able to see the mechanics that you're pushing and any other special message that you might want to push across, and without your artwork looking so very crowded for the creative people. And you know, the beauty of all this stuff is they're very easy to set up, and you're going to see how we do that in the next couple of slides. Yes. So the next one you see there is drag ad. So basically you drag and drop your Fuse tea. It's actually a drink I'm taking right now here. So you basically drag different items. I can replay it for you in case it was too fast for you. you drag different items, you're launching a new product in the market and you want to show the people, what kind of ingredients, is it made of. I love vanilla, so imagine I'm able to make my own vanilla equivalent for Fizz tea right on the banner. So this really engages the user, and it gives a very great interaction, and then it allows you to even have extra trackability, because all these are engagements with your brand, and those metrics you can be able to see in our dashboard, in our DSP dashboard. This one we did for Pepsi. Basically, different views of it. At every stage, you have a different banner that is showing. This one is also very, 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 very good for that kind of brand in the FMCG space. And then, this one for popping those. So the end user basically interacts and bursts those balloons, in the sense of balloons, and then we show the underlying brand message. This is also gives very, very good recall, and then it's much better than static ads, because someone has really engaged with your brand. Move on to the next one. So the next ones are some of my favorites. So it's the game section. So these ones, you realize because with the scheme, there's almost no limit with our customers. So a good number of the agencies and the brands we work with and the different players we work with, have their own custom solutions. So they have come up with these brand truths and brand insights, and they want to really port them on digital. So what we do is we come up with things. For example, this particular client came up with a game. You can see, you see a banner and then a puzzle. You're able to rearrange these rows and columns, and then you're able to see the underlying message. The next one is a race game. I'm a petrol head, so I love cars. So this is one of those that would catch me. So you are there engaging with ads, and then rather reading your content, probably on a car site or insurance-related content, and then you're able to see this kind of ad where you engage with it, you actually interact with it, try to drive through the drive, where if you do hit quite a lot of the signs, then we give you the banner. It gives you an advice of you need to get the right insurance package for yourself. So that kind of thing, because people love gamification. Most of us right now, especially during this lockdown and even before, we turn to our phones to as a place of recreation. So these kinds of games can help you with that. I recorded the screen quite when I was tired. I wasn't drinking anything, don't worry about that. So I wasn't able to play it ultimately well, but you were supposed to keep within that line. So it's also a very, 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 very good ad and gives very good brand recall. Now, many of you remember this breakout game. It used to be called, in Uganda, it's called a brick game, I believe actually world over. So basically, one of our clients here actually in Kampala, the agency came up with this idea, and we had to do this. We did this as a custom solution. So basically, you try to make sure this gentleman is supposed to make sure that the card doesn't fall down, and then these bricks keep on piling and piling and piling and piling. So we did that for a brand called, it's a bank here in Kampala. It's called Stanbic Bank, for the Chala IC campaign. So it was also a very, very, very good ad, and then we'll show the brand message. So then we have this one also, very common. The Pac-Man game. I know most of you are big Pac-Man fans. So basically, we still re-envision the same idea, and then try to put it into a banner for this client, and then you see the results were really very good, because people were engaging with these ads. It's not your usual, click here, click there. People actually engage with these, and then you know that they're engaging with the brand, and you actually can be able to retarget those that engage with the ad. So that's some of the games that we have. I'll share some of these links so you can enjoy some of the games, but also, these are games that you probably seen out there. Yes, so the next one is one of our favorites as well. I'll start from this side. So we integrate with different APIs, application programming interfaces, depending on what you have. This particular one was an interaction with the Forex rates API. So I see many brands online, especially in East Africa or Eastern Africa, where every day at midday they put up the Forex rates on their different social networking sites. so that people can use those rates when they go to the bank to exchange money or to buy Forex. So what we have here is this banner. You just put in the amount, and in the back end, it basically shows you the exact rate without changing the banner, without designing the banner. So normally you have this design, they come from agents, they come from clients, they go to agency, and then you put the rate. Maybe by the time you put the rate has changed, but with this banner, the rate can be almost updated in near real time if we have that API integration. Then we have another nice one over here. So I'll play this for you so that you can see how we arrived to it. So then we give you the the rate for there. So the next one is a very basic one as well. Let me just move my face away from the banners. Yes. So next one is really very straightforward as well. So you have this promotion you're running, and then it has a deadline, or it has a weekly deadline. So what we do is we pick up your dates when you have probably this draw, and then we automatically change the banner every time someone sees it, by the second, by the minute, by the hour, by the day of the week, to reflect on the banner when someone sees it. So that is a more engaging and more relevant banner to the user. So the next one is, one of my favorites as well. So I'll start from this side because my Zoom face is covering this. So we have these ones, which is a schedule ad. Basically, these you can do them for media companies or TV stations, radio TV stations, for example. For people who are searching, people who are interested in, let's say, documentaries or the Kardashians, keeping up with the Kardashians, like you see them over there. So if they've been if their browsing habits point to that, then in real time, they can be able to see an ad at some point when they're browsing the internet with the counter of the number of minutes to that show on, let's say, DSTV or Star Times and the like, or any pay TV provider here in East Africa or anywhere. So then we have what we call the sports results ad. Now you'll agree with me, the average cricket game is about 3 to 6 days. Now that's one of the longest games, I think, one of the longest games. So one of these banners, we did it, and you can see it was for the game between India and Bangladesh. So the banner would update in real time, would pick the exact score out there. Let's say it's a game between Uganda and Kenya, Zambia and Rwanda, Congo and Malawi or Namibia, and then people can be able to see the actual score from the game. So imagine for 3 days, that's a long time. And the average game per day takes about 6 hours. So that was very, very good reach for this client. This was just the cricket ad in action, how it would look like. So basically the scores would be updating there, and then the teams, and then you have your ad message down there, which would be really very relevant because people are very patriotic when it comes to their countries and supporting their countries. I remember one of the biggest games I've watched here was Uganda versus Kenya. It ended 0-0 though, but it had over 40,000 people there and millions watching on TV. So imagine, those are the kind of eyeballs you'd get, let's say for Uganda, 6.5 million, and for Kenya, 19 million, in case you have, you have the budget to reach them, or they're in your target audience. Let's say you're just targeting the sports fans. Then the next one is the weather ad. So basically this ad, we'll be able to see more about it. So basically it updates based on the temperature or the weather for the day. So yes, so this one is for Coca-Cola with meals. Coke paired with food is one of those campaigns that they push most of the time. I remember when I was working at agency, this is one that was very common when working with Coke. So it's basically this banner, tries to talk about the time of the day, updated alongside Coke with food. So you can see that in Lagos at that time, that was the temperature, and then they're suggesting for you the kind of meal you can pair with your Coke. The same with the lunchtime, the kind of meal you can pair with your Coke. And then, the same for dinner. I know my brothers from Uganda or Kenya probably have different looking plates of food. Cyrus, I'm sure you'd prefer to have ugali on some of these pictures, right? So you'd have, a lot of those. Then we move on to the dynamic ads. These were done during the FIFA World Cup. And basically this mimics the sentiment of the game. So there was a game between France and Costa Rica, I think. So, you could see, at 4-2, at a certain stage of the game, there's a special ad, there's a special creative that shows that mimics the mood and the sentiment of the game. So let's say it's a goal. It means it's a happy moment. It's a missed penalty. That's a cringy moment for you and the like. Yes, so then we have others. I need to move my face away from the screen again. We have these ones, really good. If you want to showcase a lot of, if you have different viewpoints that you want to show, let's say showroom and the like, you can see an example of that. So you tap this and see, different views with different color palettes. This one is also good. You're able to see in a car, you tap some bits of the car. You tap the bonnet. I told you I'm a petrolhead. So the first thing I would prefer, I love turbo cars. So for me, I'd want to see, what specifications for the turbo are there. What lights are they talking about? So it's an interactive ad. You don't need to wait for video. As someone sees it there, you don't need to move away from the banner. They tap and see the different specifications of the car. There are many of us, who do e-commerce campaigns or even normal campaigns, love carousel ads. So we also have that offering, very nice ads. This is for game. So you're able to see different ad creatives based on some of the different items that game had. So for the catalog kind of ads. So I'm sure you've loved these ads. If you really want to hear more about these particular ads, please reach us. The number that we show at the end of this call. Another very good one, like you can see on the screen, we have the lead generation ads. These are very nice ones. So you have the lead forms right in the ad. So these we run on the private marketplace. Like let's say local publishers and the like. So these ones you're seeing an ad and you want to get liquid telecom internet. So right on the banner, you type in your names, the company email and phone number, and that information is picked from there. These are very, very good ads as well. The next one is very exciting one. This is the most exciting one for me. I know most of you have everything as exciting at the moment because they're really very exciting. So these are chatbots. So basically the chats, we already have pre-filled in options. So when you tap on, let's say, recipe or inspiration, the ad shows you, different viewpoints. So you're able to pick whatever scenario you have. Because most scenarios between me and you, most scenarios about brands are either yes or no, or it's a bunch of options. So it's data bundles. It's either weekly, monthly, or daily. If it's dailies, maybe 10 MB, 100 MB, 1 GB, or 20 GB, I don't know. So and the like. So you're able to sort all those out from using a bot of a banner. Very exciting one. Telecoms can use them, even banks can use them, even FMCGs can use them. Basically, everyone can use them because they're about decision making for your end user. So whatever decision they have in their head, whatever they choose, you already have an option that speaks to them right there. So, okay. So yes, so from this point, I'm going to take you over to our dashboard interfaces. So my brother Cyrus will take it from here. I hope you're feeling at home. I know you're home, but okay, I hope you're feeling at work and at home. Let me pass it over to Cyrus to take us to the dashboards while we can get back to this site to see the case studies.
Okay, thanks, Robert. I appreciate.
I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So thanks for your presentation. I think it was a very insightful one. And so the other key thing I think now many people are asking themselves is, how do they do these things? So for this particular session, I'll try to show you how you're able to run some simple creatives using the platform, without necessarily having to engage like a third-party person, or rather a third-party developer or something like that to deploy this. So one key thing I think, Robert, you can mention or you ought to mention is, so most of these creative executions are free. Don't charge for you like deploying this. So what happens is we have our dashboard. So once you decide to onboard users,
Cyrus, just 1 second. Team, can we have all the questions under the Q&A side on Zoom? Put them under Q&A and not in the chat section. Yeah. Thank you, Sai.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. So so this is our Scheme dashboard. So it's a very simple interface and it's very straightforward to, for example, if you have to deploy a campaign. So as you can see, this is just a quick overview of how it appears. So you have the overview which shows you your campaign performance, how the clicks you're getting, and also be able to customize some of the KPIs that you might want to track using the platform. We also have a tab on the left. So we have the creative sets where you're able to deploy the creatives. We have the campaign setup, we have reports, where you're able to track how your campaigns are performing in real time. We can do, for example, if you're a telco, we're able to do a telco dashboard, we're able to track the different devices in the market, the different operators in the market, and any other KPI that you want to track in that space. Also, we have a couple of tools here, so we're able to do audience definition, we do optimizations, we can do packages, so we can do traffic discovery, which falls under our DMP solution. So for this particular one, we'll just focus on the creative sets, and I'll show you how you're able to do simple creatives for example, if you're to run a campaign independently without having to consult like a third-party person. So, so the moment you log into the platform, you'll come to the creative sets, and maybe we can do a quick setup. So the first one, so it would be maybe a test campaign. So a schema test. And I'll use some brands I think you've engaged with in the past to give you that kind of familiarity. So once you enter your campaign title or your creative sets title, so you select which ad format you want to work with. So for this particular case, I'll just select banners, but you can see we have many other options. We have native ads, you have video, you have native video, you have engagement ads, and you can do carousel. So I'll select banners, and you can select which kind of creative or other ad campaign you want to run. So for this particular one, I'll select rich media, but you can select either you want to work with a remote file banner or a JavaScript tag. So I think Robert has taken you through in detail some of our creative options, and you'll see some of them here, and you'll be able to see them in action in real. So once you enter your campaign or other creative banner title, you're able to select the different ad formats you want to develop. So for this particular one, I can do a simple one. I'll do a scratch to reveal maybe to give you a better understanding. So, and also you're able to select the ad dimension you want to work with. So you can either work with 300 by 250 or 320 by 480. So 300 by 250 based on the data that I showed you earlier are the ones that give you the best value when it comes to engagement and kind of delivery when it comes to reach. So I'll select a couple of creatives so that you can see how it looks like. I'll use some of the popular brands in the market. So some of these I just picked online. Maybe I'll select this Canon ad, and can do this one by Rebune. So once you select, so ideally you need to make sure that the banner formats are within these dimensions. And that's what the other key thing, you need to make sure that the creatives are less than on 50 kilobytes. So when you save, so it's very simple. So this shows you like a preview of how the ad will appear. And if you don't like how it looks like, you're able to change it up. So this is how the campaign will appear. It's a very simple platform, easy to use and able to run this campaign. So once you do this, you're able to save the ads. Then you go to audience, you define your audience, then you go to campaigns and you're able to set up your campaign and you're able to have a full preview of how your campaign will appear like. So the other one we can test out is you can do a countdown. So, and maybe you can select when you want the ad to run up to. So you can do from maybe today to Saturday. And you can also select the time. So you can say maybe at 12 or 6 p.m. Then you choose your files. So I'll select the same creatives, but I'll be creative on how I do this, because I haven't optimized these banners to fit into this particular ad format. It's a creative set, sorry. Select banner, save. Oops, sorry. So you enter the title of the campaign. Select banner. Select the file type. So we're doing rich media right now. Continue. Then we select our preferred ad format. So I'll do a countdown. Countdown, and I can select the timing. So maybe you have a big offer, or maybe you have a big sale, or I don't know, if you have an event coming up. So you enter the date and the time that you want to work with. So this one will be 6 p.m. Then you choose the files. So I'll select still the same creative, so the Tribune one and the Canon one. Then you save. And you'll get a preview of the same. So for example, if I had optimized this to suit into this particular banner, I'll leave a white space where there's a countdown. So at least when someone sees this ad online, they're able to track how long the offer is going to happen, or maybe if there's something coming up in the near future. You're able to click order now, and it takes you straight to the landing page. So if you can pay. Maybe I can do one last one. So the rotating billboard, I think it's very popular.
Just to tell you, my grandmother is still following this presentation.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right. So select a new one. So still the same. So we're going with rich media, because rich media, that's where we need to focus on. And I'm able to select a strip ad. So it has to be a 970 by 250. Then I'll just select this random kind of ad. And when I save, you get a preview of the same. Sorry about that. Now it's misbehaving. Select the file type, rich media, continue. Select the rotating billboard. You choose that one file. So I'll select this random one, and then I save. And you get a preview of how your ad will appear. So this is very important because, for example, if you're an agency, you're able to do these simulations, and when you're pitching, you're able to show these ads in action. And also, for example, if you're a self-service kind of client, you're able to deploy campaigns without having to involve a third party or someone else to do the simulation for you. And, I don't know if, Robert, I can do the last one.
Yeah, you can do any last one. Yes. Yeah. We still have time. We're managing our time well.
Yeah. So give me test 2. Sorry, I think I have many test campaigns. I'll select rich media, continue. Then I select, I don't know, I can go with a dancing ad. I think you said these are your favorite, Robert. So I'll do that.
Yes.
And for this particular one, I'll use Canon, because I think it's that brand that might want to showcase how it looks like. And this is how it appears. I think most of the guys who have attended the webinar, they've seen this kind of ads. So these are the create them, and these are free of charge. We don't charge you for anything. And the platform is also free. So just in addition to that. Yep, and I think that's it for me, Robert. Can take over and maybe wind up on the last bit of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Cy. So Cyrus has really taken us through all these. So I'm just going to briefly just show you. Briefly, I'm just going to show you, what he has taken us through. So we've seen the animated cube. We haven't seen it, but that's how it would look like. We've seen the dancing one, dancing. I'm in love with dancing at the moment because it's one of my favorite pastimes at the moment. You have the 3D cube, vertical, you can see it. Very good for showing a lot of information on a banner in a very short time frame. Move on to the next one.
You can share the screen, Robert. You can see your screen.
You can't see.
Sorry about that.
Thanks for that reminder. Thanks for the reminder. Oops. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, we can.
You can, eh? Thank you, Sai. Okay, so you can see the animated 3D cube. Tap here, you can see how it would look like. Very good for showing lots of information in one go. We have the dancing ad. We all now are big time dancers. We're seeing that. We have the shake and break. So these ones, someone receives it on their smartphone or their mobile phone as a placement. When they shake their phone, they're able to reveal an underlying message. Then you have the countdown one. Sai has taken us through it. We have rotating billboard one. Sai has also taken us through it, and you've all seen how easy it was to create one. Then we have the 3D rotating one. You've also seen this from the previous slide. So all this comes with with a lot of benefits. On the programmatic platform, we have a lot of increased number of click to action options. You'll see that we have one of the options we have is click to call. Someone sees the banner that you've seen, for example, even the static banners, by the way. And when they tap on the banner, they already have the phone number pre-filled, and then they're able to call your business, call the customer service helpline, or call or whatever is there. The same could apply to SMS. I'll be able to show you another better case study for SMS there. Click to USSD, you have telecom, you have bank, you have that special USSD, even the betting companies or lottery companies, they have that special USSD that they pay for and they're directing traffic to. So instead of just having a landing page to a website, you have your call to action, action being a USSD. So when you tap on the banner, it dials *175*4# for example. That would be able to, to allow the customer to purchase that. And that's already pre-filled, and all they need to do is to say yes, and they buy the bundle from you. Then we have one of my favorites as well, very, very good favorites. Every business, loves this one lately, even SMEs that we are working with. So it's click to chat. So basically, the clients share with us the WhatsApp number that is active, and they use it. Normally, they actually use the WhatsApp business. So basically, when you see the banner, you tap on it, and then you're able to start, the chat window opens up, and then you're able to start a conversation with that brand. Then we have the click to map. Basically, it picks up your location, and then the closest headquarters, the closest branch, the closest petrol station, the closest anything that the client wants you to, that the brand wants you to go to. So it's called a click to map solution. Also very, very, very widely used now because our clients love it. Then you have the usual click to mail. So this one is also a video. So basically, it's like a bucket list of sorts. So you pick the different items you want in your bucket list. This was for Britam, it's an insurance company. If you are from Britam and you're in the call, please send the money for the free ad here on the webinar. So basically, what I was showcasing here is you're able to actually click here, and then it's pre-fills this SMS you see here, and maybe a message pre-filled already as well, buy now or call me back. So basically, this what this user here, who is myself, what I was doing is I filled in my bucket list. So I'm telling this insurance provider that, okay, call me back and we talk more about this. Or you can even have a discount code and the like. So it's a very, very good option as well. We've talked about click to chat. WhatsApp is big here in Kampala and Eastern and Africa and Middle East and everywhere basically, and Telegram as well. So you can be able to have those particular sites or those particular apps as your click to action. So when someone taps on this banner, they're able to prompt the chat window on their phone if they have the app, and then they're able to start a conversation with the brand. Now, this kind of ad, of course, you want to place it on mobile as opposed to desktop, because on desktop you have WhatsApp web well, but you are not able to start this conversation with that much ease. So this is one of those ones that are key, and we always advise you on the right click to actions to use and some of the key benefits and key takeaways for you that we have over time. We talked about click to map. In the interest of time, I'll skip this. We talked about clicks USSD. I gave you a banking example. You tap, this one, instead of saying just dial now. So when you tap on the banner, this is already pre-filled. So it loads up this window. Of course, the USSD hits back end with that particular provider, and then you have all this. You can open up an account for yourself or open an account for another third party, another person, and the like. So it's a very, very, very easy flow, and this we do quite very often. So I'll take us to now some case studies. We have some case studies, some of the banners that we've worked on with brands in the telecom space. Cyrus, you can feel free to jump in here as
Sure.
we close of this. But I'm also here for everyone. So what you're going to see is a bunch of case studies that we've done for the telecom space. So some of the ads, I'm just trying to show you how they can be ported back to use, in terms of being practical.
So there's no audio? I don't know.
My Ugandan people are not able to understand the Swahili, but there's some English version ones, so you can relate to the Swahili ones.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try to explain what the ads mean. So the idea was to educate the masses on the transfer fees. So for example, we find that like right now, many banks, especially.
What you see there is a drag and drop. Yeah. Sorry, Cyrus, the sound was very loud for us to hear, but you can take it on. No,
just play. So at least once we're done, you can be able to.
Okay.
But we can't. I don't think we're getting audio on our end.
Oh, you can't get the audio on your end.
Yeah.
I could have done a voice over this.
Yeah. Yeah, but let's just finish. So, let me just try to give context. So you find that, as I mentioned when we were starting off the presentation, I mentioned that Eskimi has a solution offering that comes in 3 main areas. So you find the first one was data, the second one was media, the last one was creative. So for this particular, examples that we're looking at right now, we were able to leverage on the 2 solutions that we have. So if, for example, if we were looking to reach people who are using low data, let's say, for example, low data consumers, so we're able to target those particular demographic or that particular target audience, and they were able to see the ads that were relevant to them at that moment, and they're able to engage with those particular ads. So ideally, we combine these 3 solutions to give you the best value. So for example, if you're an NGO and you have a specific target audience, you give us that, you share with us a brief of the same. We're able to advise the best creative to give you that kind of value. And also in addition to that, we can do a media strategy and data strategy.
Oh, thank you for that, Cyrus. So on the screen, you're able to see different ad executions. So one of the interesting ones that I wanted to talk about, I couldn't talk about it while it was playing, but I wanted to give you time to internalize that information. So we have what we call those speed test banners. So, your telecom company, someone can actually run that speed test directly off the banner, and then you have your brand message, close to it. Of course, you ideally have, a very good internet connection, and basically your banner is not just saying, oh, Robert Telecom has the best internet. So it's giving someone their speed test network speed score, and then they're also telling them to try your service because they've just tried it right there, and it was a good test. So I have another case studies that I want to share with us. So it's for Airtel Tanzania. It combines
there's no audio, maybe you can just narrate to us.
Yes, so you know, this is just yes, so this is really bringing for you, showing you the value that you get with this kind of advertisement, and then it shows you the different options that you have. For example, you saw this was a click to USSD campaign. And then you're able to see, you know, further from our telecom dashboard, you can be able to see how many migrations, how many SIMs, and how many statistics, you know, have come from the, you know, from the campaign, different performance from the campaign beyond what you saw earlier, which was the impressions and the reach. I can see some questions coming in, but my colleague Caloris is on chat to respond to them. And then lastly, we're going to just look at, lastly, we're going to look at some interactive ads we've done for Coca-Cola. It's key for you to check out, because now we've done telecom, we've seen some for banking, but what about an FMCG? So let's see how that is going. So you remember the drag and drops, of course. That's another game. So basically you tilt the phone based on the gravity to dodge those swipe to fill ad, also very easy to create. Then the countdown that we've seen over and over again. Then the data-driven one that I told you based on the weather, you know, time of day, telling you what kind of meal you should have to pair up with the Coke. And these are based on the mood, and then this is based on the sentiment around a soccer game.
Maybe just to jump into these data-driven ads. So I usually, when I'm presenting this to some of our partners, I usually tell them this is the cheapest way for you to sponsor a World Cup. For example, it's the World Cup happening or any big event happening. Because ideally, if you're to run this on TV or these other channels, you'll pay a lot of premium or high premiums for the same. So when you sponsor your brand using the current trends to be one of the cheapest ways for you to sponsor, quote unquote, that particular event online.
Okay, so doing our last video, our last case study, then we'll get to the questions that you can ask on call. So you just need to put up your hand and then we'll choose you to ask a question. So we'll, I think, take maybe 4 questions. So be ready to ask your question and make sure your sound is good while you're asking. It is for JumboJet, for the seasonal flights campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So you drag the plane to where you want to fly to, for your destination. Then the fare is generated for you automatically. Then we had those eye-catching customized banners that we did for the brand. We fenced off major airports, of course, to pick the different visitors in Kenya. And then those are some of the targeting options based on travel history, family, your parents, hobbies, leisure and shopping and the like. And these were the results. Yes, so that's our very, very last part of the presentation. So before, at this point, it's where we want to take up your questions. If you have any question, let me stop sharing my screen so that I can see your hands. I see someone has their hand up. Let me just, okay, Jackie Namara from Uganda. I can see your hand up. I'm going to allow you to talk. Let's go strictly for a minute, I think. Jackie, please ask your question and mute yourself. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, Robert and Cyrus. I wanted to ask, how would we apply what you've just shown us for the not-for-profit world? So if I am an NGO which is promoting condom use, or I am promoting voter registration, I would like to see how you apply the same thinking in that world, because some of the things where we're looking at clicks and impressions, I'm still struggling how I'm going to translate that into data that I can go back to a fund of a project and say, my campaign reached, I don't know, 1 million eyeballs, and therefore we expect or we predict voter turnout of, I don't know, an additional 20%. I need some help to understand how to go from your approach, which I get, and how do we translate it into that world.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll choose the next person. We'll pick the next person, and then I'll, yes, Opilua, are you unmuted? Please ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is afternoon from here. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear you very well, sir.
Okay. My question goes to the last presentation that you did, the case study that you did on the fares, airline fares. The airline fares I did. Now, for example, if fare changes and I've already run my ad and it's supposed to give me a certain amount, if I drag the airplane to my destination. Now, if airline fares have changed over time, let's say it changed the next day, will it still affect my ad? Or my ad is working in conjunction with an API that automatically changes the fare over time? Do you understand what I'm saying at all?
Yes, yes, your question.
That's my question, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Anyone else? I still see 2 hands up, but I can't see who is putting their hand up. So Cyrus, I think you can start with the first question, and then I'll jump in. I'm looking for the attendants whose hands are up.
Right. So thanks for your question. So I'll just try to reflect on what you've asked. So you're saying that you want to run a campaign, and you want to get data that you can be able to, like, quantifiable data or qualitative data that you can use to make, maybe, for example, if you're looking for funding or something like that. So our platform, as I mentioned, when I took you through the dashboard, we're able to customize the dashboard depending with your intended objectives. For example, if you're looking to get people to, let's say, for example, if you have a sign-up form and you have people to submit their contact information or maybe collect data from your target audience. So we can be able to customize our platform in such a way that it will give you that kind of power data. So the first one is we can do either audience tracking. Say, for example, you want to get signups, you can do that. If you want to report maybe how many people you actually reached, so we can do that. We can also do something called footfall tracking. So what happens is if you have a physical presence somewhere, say, for example, in Kampala, and you want people to, like, come in and maybe if they're going to sign up to a service or something like that. So we can be able to, like, create a geofence around that outlet, and anyone who's within the vicinity, they'll be able to see your ad and they're able to come into the shop or maybe the outlet, and using the platform, able to track how many people actually came in as a result of the ad that we deployed out there. So we're able to combine different solutions depending with what you want to achieve with a marketing campaign. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Cyrus, on that. I think I'll also give it a take. So, marketing most of the time is about insights. So you work off insights before you even think about the tacticals. So I'm going to imagine this campaign from the insight part until when I get to the tacticals and how we can come in as a scheme. So, for example, for a fact, it's a known truth that Ugandans don't vote. Based on the campaign that Jackie briefed us with, Ugandans don't like to vote. The urbanites don't like to vote. So let's say you have a campaign that's pushing urban people to vote. So what do you do first? So of course you create an audience segment of people who stay in Kampala based on the kind of profile of people that don't like to vote. So what you do then, what next? You need a call to action, right? So a call to action would be maybe to sign a petition that I'll be able to vote, or to do a certain action that shows that I'll come the voting day, I'll be able to vote. So in this case, you give a scheme a banner, that's pushing petitions. So you can have that on a landing page. We can do that on in so many ways. So basically, we can push a petition, or we can push voter registration. Because, for example, in Uganda, voter registration is done both on SMS and on a landing page on the website. So you can be able to check all that. You can be able to move this traffic from the banner to the landing page for someone to go and sign up to register. It could be you pushing these people to check their status, whether they're registered a valid voter or an invalid voter, because at some point, the EC puts up lists of people who are valid voters. So all those things can sit somewhere, and then a scheme directs traffic to there. Now, the other beauty of it is we can be able to track the performance of that. So we can be able to track how many people actually went there on that site, and then what action did they take, and stuff like that, if you have the audience pixel. And then we can be able to remarket to them over time as well. Yeah, and then the other solutions, Cyrus has talked about them. Now, the last one was about, I've considered it in two ways. Of course, like I said, we do both data and APIs, but also it comes down to the ad scheduling. So if the brand is in sync in terms of ad scheduling with us, then that wouldn't really happen. So you know that it's a promo. I'll give you, for example, some of those campaigns for the airlines, because I've worked on some before. So you have a promotional offer that's going to run, for a certain duration. So you're given that offer, and then the schedule on which it will run. So what you need to do on our side is we have an ad scheduling. You say this ad will run from Monday to Sunday on this and such a date. Will run at this kind of time and this kind of time, targeting people with this kind of travel status and the like. So it's highly unlikely that you'll be in that kind of mix if you schedule it the right way, and if a scheme is in sync with the brand or the agency team, it wouldn't really happen. But then you mentioned a very interesting suggestion as well with APIs. You can integrate. We integrate with those. We do have those custom solutions that we do for clients. For example, some of those ideations that you've seen are all relying on different APIs like weather, like sports codes. So we can do the same for these clients. We'll have one more question. I'm going to check in the chat section if we have any. I see someone putting up their hand, but I don't see them.
It's Jackie.
Okay, so I'm going to get back to her. So what creatives would you recommend to push customers to update a banking app? Yes, so here where, the response has been given, but in the interest of everyone. So those ads, you need to use static ads to reach the highest possible audience, and also animated ads to attract the audience's attention, and also to tell them about more engaging things that will happen when they update their app. Yes, so that's also there. That's one of the other questions. Maybe I can take one last one and then we close off the session. Yeah, someone is asking for who develops the ads? Is it the agency or is it the scheme? So it's a collaboration. So you've seen, for example, we have those that are plug and play in our rich media builder that Cyrus took us through. Then we have those that are custom. So for those that are custom, you just need to share with us the elements. It can be a PSD, which is the Photoshop file, which is 300 by 250. And then we do the rest on our side, but we keep updating you every step of the way. So we do quite a lot. A lot of the custom ads that you've seen have been done from that model. I see one last hand, Kasasa Silva. Please ask very quickly, then we close off the session. Kasasa, it's your turn to ask, please.
Hello, how are you?
We're great, sir. How are you doing?
Good, good. Now, my question is, I actually operate for a solar company, a renewable energy company, and these people are sales driven, but they also consider reach, because the more number that you reach, it's the more chances, of making conversions. So I would like to understand, before they invest in marketing, in above the line marketing like TV and everything, this would be a very nice platform. Yeah? But how best can a renewable energy company use this platform?
Okay, so I'll come in and then you can come in as well.
Yeah, sure.
So for example, you mentioned something that is really key. At the moment, Eskimi has the highest reach in the market. Double the number, like I'll give you an example for Uganda, where you come from, Silver. We have 6.5 million Ugandans that we are reaching. So that's the highest reach. That's twice the number than the closest platform based on the We Social data, of course. So how you do that is you're not reaching everyone. You have a target audience that you want to reach. So you just detail your target audience. You give us an audience profile, and then we're able to target ads to them. Now, the other thing you're mentioning is you're not just running. You're not going to just run awareness. You want to get some traffic maybe to your website, and as well some conversions. So in that case, we'll be able to set up the campaign in such a way that it pushes you to your website, and then we can also start to optimize for conversions. So like right now, where many of us, like myself, don't have power today, I was actually worried I wouldn't finish up this call. So we don't have power. So we're able to, when we see that ad and it's within our micro moment, we're able to click on, let's say, start up a WhatsApp conversation with your brand, and if you have the right priced product, we're able to buy it from you. And so we can be able to track almost every step of the way. So in this case, I would prefer you have like a leads form somewhere online that we target to, and then we'll implement what we call tracking pixels. So we have an audience pixel that tracks the audience, and the tracking pixel, the conversion pixel that tracks the actual conversion based on how you measure it with our collaboration. So if that really happens, then we're able to measure the conversion, and this is what your bosses, this is what your team will be able to measure on. But it's a journey that you move into. Yeah, you just don't start with conversions immediately. So sometimes you need to, the funnel. Sometimes you need to, keep the awareness, make sure you have enough consideration. That's why we always sit down with you and then give you a media plan, and also give you some insights based on the campaigns we've run in the past. I hope that's very clear, Silva.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Maybe
Thank you
just
very much.
in addition to maybe what Robert was trying to explain. So, we have one solution that I think we didn't have a chance to present in this session that we call our DMP offering. So, under our DMP offering, we're able to give you data that you can use to make very informed decisions, because you're able to derive, for example, you're looking at to understand the demographics of your target audience. So you define your target audience, come on the platform, and you start playing around with different audiences or interest areas that you might be relevant to your target audience, and you get the numbers, and you can use those numbers to make informed decisions, because you know exactly who you're talking to prior to even investing.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for joining us on this webinar. Yeah. And thank you for coming in big numbers. If you want to know more about Eskimi, if you want to have a conversation with us further about campaigns, we have so many people on this call that are listening in. There are many people on the chat section that have been watching you as well, but we're representing them for today. So send us an email at robert@eskimi, that's me, or cyrus@eskimi.com. We shall refer you to the right colleagues that will support you for the different countries. You can reach us on these WhatsApp numbers. My number is really the easiest here. It's code for Uganda, which is +256 776 00 So 776 004545. And Cyrus is 254 713 598299. But over and above, you want to go to our website, which is business@eskimi.com, to find out more about us and know, the key things that we've been working on. Some of the things that you don't really understand, you can actually find them there. You can go on our YouTube channel. We have some of these webinars also there. This one, I think, will also get there. But we also have a lot of video content there. And also you can follow us on Twitter, and also like us on Facebook, for you to be able to get to know more about the things that are happening at Eskimi, especially, during this lockdown. I believe you and me have a lot of time to be on the internet and to enjoy each other's company. Let's have that coffee online. Give us a call, drop us an email, visit our website, and we shall be in touch. From me, that's it. Cyrus, maybe you can give us your parting shots.
Yeah, so thanks for showing up. Right now we have many webinars happening. So your presence is well, like we feel honored for you being here. And so maybe just to add on whatever Robert was trying to explain earlier. So we have webinars happening every week, like 3 or 4 per week from SKIM. So just tune in, maybe just follow the social channels to get updates of the same.
Well, thank you. That's the rest of the team saying bye to you. I hope their faces are very clear where you're seated. Thank you. We shall catch you on the next one.